government is talking about using drones to enhance health delivery. Your view on that?
I think it's a misplaced priority. It's not that you can't do it, or it's just, and the reason they gave, which has to do with blood movement, for me is
essential medicines, according to what?
Well, the bottom line is, do you have the medicines in Kolibu? Let me ask a simple question. Kolibu pharmacy is there. Because we are not paying NHI well, they can't get the drugs they need to actually give out in some of these hospitals. So in fact, when you go to Kolibu, you are then directed, or you go to a hospital, you're directed to go to a private pharmacy to buy your drugs. Now, the priority should be, how can we get our government pharmacies equipped so that they can dispense NHI drugs, which people are entitled to, without having to go and pay for it. That is, for me, more of a priority than a drone. Because if the one that is even next to you, you cannot deal with, how do you now then get a drone? If you went to a hospital now, and this is not peculiar to this government, it's been there, and you were involved in an accident or something and you needed blood, you will be asked to bring a relative to replace the blood you were. So till the relative came or a friend came to give blood, you will not be able to get the blood. They tell you that, oh, if it's an emergency, they'll give it to you. The truth is that the reality is that the person must appear and give blood. If not, they will not give you the blood. So if you're putting blood on a drone, question, who at the other end has given blood before they give that blood, put the blood on the drone? Because that is the unwritten policy.
An unwritten policy.
Yeah. So how does a drone solve that problem? You're sending blood to an emergency spot, and in actual fact, they haven't got somebody to give blood already to replace it. The drone will never take off. I mean, and this is the reality.
How do we get to these hard to reach areas?
Well, the point is that you have to put blood banks in the right places, and that should be more of the priority. But the emphasis now should be spending some of this money on a drive to get people to donate blood voluntarily, because we don't have enough blood in the first place. That's why you're asked to give blood, replace the blood before you can take it. So we have to get a policy, which we were looking at, of trying to say, look, ministry by ministry, month by month, over a 12-month period, you would say, look, we're going to the Ministry of Health in January. All people who are eligible to give blood, give blood. Next ministry would be transport. Next would be the castle. So that you begin to build a mindset amongst people, but start with yourselves, that is government institutions, and say, look, voluntarily give blood. And then, so that when you get to the point where there's enough blood, and there's a lifespan for blood, and there's enough blood in the system, and you've staggered it so that as you go from one to the other, district assemblies, municipalities, government institutions, make it an inherent policy that giving blood is now part and parcel. It will even point out illnesses for people that don't even know they have the illnesses. Because when they take the blood, they screen it. So for me, drones, misplaced priority. We have other priorities.
But will not in any way enhance our health delivery?
Look, as a country, we spent a lot of money, or we get a lot of money from donors for vaccinations, HIV, etc. But this money is being reduced year in, year out now, because we were now deemed to be a lower middle income economy. So those amounts, so each year, the amount we as a country have now to begin to pay for these things is going to increase. So before you take on more social interventions that cost money, deal with the ones that you already have and are on their way. Make sure you have enough funding to cover vaccines in the next 3 to 4 years, because no longer will you be able to just pick them or get them from donors. You have to pay for it. So we have existing debts which are coming. Some have already started, I believe. And therefore, it's imperative that these are factored into how we look at other issues we deal with. And drones, for me, therefore, it's not that it cannot work, it's a misplaced priority.